What's up, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint here with the new comic book day reviews for November 6th. I'm dropping this on Thursday because I had a huge stack of books I couldn't get through. So it's a day late, but we're still going to keep it spoiler free. Stay tuned. Alright guys, like I said, we had a large stack of books. I read them over the last 2 days. I hope I didn't forget a bunch of stuff, but we're going to give a quick review of this week's books. It wasn't as strong as a week as last week. There was some hits and there were some misses, and we'll go over them now. From Image, from Gary Dugan, Dead Eyes 2. Absolutely love Dead Eyes. Issue 1 was my pick of the week whenever it came out. This one was a strong issue too, man. You have the story of this hitman guy who's coming out of retirement because bills are stacking up. So it's showing his first caper. And as we remember from issue 1, the mob is after him because supposedly he stole millions of dollars from them when he retired. So the caper doesn't go that well, and the mob is still after him. So not looking too good for Dead Eyes, even though he seems like he can handle himself. We'll have to see what happens. Next up, from Image, we have another number 1, Undiscovered Country by Scott Snyder. This is a book that takes place like 30 years in the future, and it's kind of like a what if America closed its borders and kind of cut itself off from the rest of the world. And it just so happens that the rest of the world is not doing so hot. There's a plague, and it's kind of like funny to have that around these times, America closing the borders. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, risque, and I guess that's why they did it. But it looks like America may be willing to help out the rest of the world, and that's kind of where we're at with this Undiscovered Country. It was interesting enough for me to keep picking it up, so I'll follow the book. Moving on to DC, we had by Brian Michael Bendis, Legion of Superheroes number 1. I really like this issue. I'm aware of Legion of Superheroes. Like, I have the Silver Age Omnibus, but I've never read any material from that title. And it was really cool. It's the Legion invites Superboy, Jonathan Kent, from our time into the 31st century. I'm not really clear on why they're inviting him to be a Legionnaire, but the 31st century is pretty cool. What happens to Earth is kind of mind-blowing, and it's very interesting. I definitely enjoyed this. Bendis' writing is very fluid, and I will definitely continue to pick up this title. I enjoyed the first issue a lot. DC Year of the Villain, The Infected, King Shazam number 1. I really liked the Joker one-shot for Year of the Villain. This King Shazam was kind of whack. This is coming from the pages of Batman, Superman, and obviously, as you can see from the cover, this is like the Shazam who laughs. He's written super teenager, cringeworthy, like how teenagers in like the 90s or the 80s would talk. It wasn't interesting. I didn't like it. It has a lot of the Shazam family and him kind of being a dick to his foster siblings and to his Shazam family. And whatever. City of Bane, Part 8. This is Batman issue 82. This was a pretty cool issue. We had finally we get the showdown between Bane, Catwoman, and Batman. Batman fighting dirty, which was pretty cool to see. You know, I don't want to give spoilers. You know, you get Thomas Wayne. We finally get a confrontation at the end. As far as what happened, you know, you'll have to read to find out because we don't want to spoil it. But I enjoyed the issue. It was probably one of the stronger City of Bane issues so far. And the cover is really cool. It's got this, I guess we should open it. It's got this clear cover so that it shows Bane, you know, the strings are being pulled by Thomas Wayne. So it's kind of cool to see, like, 75% of this cover is clear plastic. And same with the back with Batman Damned. It's pretty cool. It reminded me of the 90s days. You know, like next time I talk to some decision maker from Marvel, I'm going to be like, why don't y'all do foil covers anymore, or hologram covers, or chromium covers? Is it really just that bad of a taste from the 90s? I mean, we do lenticular and clear and like kind of, I guess, die cut, but we don't do holograms and stuff. This is from last week. This is the Hellblazer one shot. This is Sandman Universe Presents, and what's happening is that they are canceling the Vertigo title ahead of schedule, and everything that was Vertigo is Black Label. So I'm into Sandman. I want to get into Hellblazer, man, this book was not for me. I did not enjoy it. I don't know what the hell was going on. Some trippy scenes. A lot of the dialogue I didn't enjoy. But pretty cool. Shazam meets himself. Shazam. Hellblazer meets himself kind of thing going on, which was pretty decent, but I didn't love this book. Jumping on over to Marvel, we got Yondu #1. People told me not to pick up this book, and I don't know how they knew that, but I wasn't really into Yondu #1. Written just like, what is his name? Michael Rourke. So that's kind of how I read it. Dirty Scavenger. They made him kind of Lobo-esque. What the hell even happened in this book? Basically, Yondu steals a Grail piece that's up there with the Infinity Gauntlet, that's up there with the Cosmic Rod and all these things. I don't know. I wasn't really digging Yondu, but it looks like it's going to be, leading up into this Annihilation Scourge storyline. So, maybe I'll follow it for a little bit because that Annihilation, Scourge should be pretty cool. Speaking of Marvel events being revamped, this is Amazing Spider-Man 33, and we're in the 2099 storyline. What I really enjoyed in this book was the advertisements for all these 2099 one-shots. Spider-Man 2099, Venom 2099, Ghost Rider, Doom. So I'm really interested in those. We get an idea on why Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, in this time is feeling like he's fading away, right? So we kind of figure out and get glimpses into why that's happening. So really, without trying to be too spoilery, how do we save the year 2099 is kind of what this whole arc's going to be about. Daredevil 13, I always get excited. What's his name? Zdarsky? I always get excited when I see Daredevil on the pull. It's one of Marvel's strongest titles right now. This one was a quick issue, but it's dealing with the aftermath of what happened with Kingpin in the last issue. Kingpin's like the stepdad from Baby Boy. Like, he's trying to do good, and someone pushes him, and they test him because they think he's a mayor. He's not going to do nothing. Well, Kingpin can only tolerate so much. So this is the aftermath of that from last issue, and it was cool. It was a good book. You guys should be reading Daredevil for sure. Immortal Hulk. Man, Immortal Hulk has kind of gone off the rails for me, man. I mean, the best thing about it is the Alex Ross covers. I was not a fan of this. It was very wordy. The art I wasn't a fan of. This guy did not look like Bruce Banner to me at all. We're back to the whole world ender Hulk. Hulk's declaring war on the human world as we know it. We cannot sustain the way we're living. It's kind of a metaphor for, real life. We cannot sustain what we're doing, so Hulk's going to put an end to it. So he's kind of declared war, and Banner is on his side. Something I liked that I read in here was like Bruce Banner is more dangerous than the Hulk in this scenario or something like that. So what the hell was Hulk 25 about then? Who the hell knows? We had an Absolute Carnage tie-in, Weapon Plus, whack. Did not enjoy this at all. And you know what's funny? We just got solicited an Absolute Carnage omnibus coming out, which has got to be the quickest single issue to omnibus transition ever. And I'm not really looking forward to it, man. The tie-ins for Absolute Carnage for the most part were super weak. The main storyline we got the idea in issue 1 and we never really went anywhere with it. This one is the Weapon Plus program, and I didn't read that whole Hulk Wolverine stuff because you got one of those Hulk Wolverine guys in here, and the whole Weapons Plus program, which we know Weapon 1 is Captain America, Weapon 10 is Wolverine, Weapon 11 is Deadpool. Well, I guess Weapon 5 dealt with symbiotes, and this took place before Absolute Carnage 1, so you already knew it didn't even matter because that Absolute Carnage 5, the ending is coming up soon, so it was an unnecessary read for that story. Doctor Doom issue 2 was an enjoyable book. It's definitely a different side of Doctor Doom. As we remember from issue 1, he's kind of been framed, it seems, to destroy, the blue spot of the moon? Or what did he destroy? Nuclear missiles got sent off. And that first one, he also got a glimpse of like a different version of himself with a family without being disfigured. So this issue touches more on that, and I can't really spoil it, right? So what happens here? We remember he was peacefully surrendering in the last issue, but it looks like he ain't really going down that route anymore. Doom #2, still picking it up. It was a good read. Ghost Rider 2 was pretty dope, man. That should be called Ghost Riders, right? Because you're dealing with Johnny Blaze, who's the king of hell. He dethroned Mephisto, and you have Danny Ketch is on Earth. But it seems like Johnny Blaze, either he's seeing demons everywhere or he's going crazy. We don't really know. We get a dope fight between the two Ghost Riders, so that was pretty interesting. And I guess we as readers don't really know what's happening yet in the storyline as far as what's going on with Johnny Blaze. But interesting second issue. I like the skull with the horns and the kind of crown Ghost Rider we got going on there. All right, then we got New Mutants 1. I did go ahead and pick up the Art Germ variant for this. I'm not really a variant guy, but I have the X-Men 1 Art Germ variant, which was dope. This one was definitely not as strong as that variant. And same thing for the issue, man. I think this was a slow issue. I'm trying to recall what even happened, man. But you just have all the New Mutants being reunited. They're on Krakoa. It's tying in with everything else. And that's all I could really even recall. It was a forgettable issue for me. But what was not a forgettable issue in my pick of the week was X-Force 1. I'm so happy that I love this title. And it was really great. Who we got on the cover here? Beast, Colossus, Wolverine, Quentin Quire. We have Black Tom Cassidy, Jean Grey, Domino. So just like all the other Dawn of X titles, we're on Krakoa. We're kind of getting all these little sections of Krakoa and the mutants that are there, what's going on with them. It seems like Krakoa might be growing its own animals, and we get a glimpse into that. And basically what this issue deals with is like, okay, the X-Men and the mutants have declared themselves as a sovereign nation. And, you know, in exchange for that recognition, they're going to help humans with these plants, these 3 different plants that'll, you know, cure disease or do whatever. But what about the humans that are not on board? What about the countries that are not going to recognize them as this sovereign nation? And what about the people that want to bring the fight to them? So that's what happens here. You get an awesome action scene, very reminiscent of Marauders #1. And, you know, this might be as strong as Marauders 1. It's up there with them. It was a great issue. It makes me, you know, continue to be excited, even though some of the Dawn of X issues were a little slow. I didn't dislike any of them. New Mutants, I don't know. It reminds me of the old school original New Mutants before Deadpool and Cable, which I'm not really a big fan of. But X-Force was dope. I definitely enjoyed it. Picked up 2 more issues that I'm just not caught up enough on the main title, and I didn't read them. Fantastic Four 16. I got to get my shit together and read. I only read issue 1. I need to read 2 through 15. And then Space Bandits. This is issue 5 of 5. I haven't read any of Space Bandits, but I heard it was really good, so I need to just crush this over the weekend. And maybe I'll just drop a solo review for Space Bandits, because I hear good things about it. Alright guys, so that's everything for today. I still do get the books in early, and I try to read them all so I can drop the review Wednesday morning, but I've just been really busy lately. We'll try to get back on track next week. The pull list is growing, so it is kind of grueling, and we got a lot of stuff going on, but I definitely want these to come out Wednesday morning. And, you know, have you guys see what we think of it before you go to the shop. Let me know what was your favorite book, what was your pick of the week for this week's comics. What was a dud? Do you agree with any of my hits or misses? Make sure to hit that like button before you bounce. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more daily content, and you guys stay minty fresh. Peace.